Hello y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel, The Budding Biologist. My name is Brittany. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping on this little old video, and if you're an oldie but a goodie, thank you as always for coming back. Today I'm going to be working on figuring out my net worth for the end of 2023. So if you're interested in that type of content, please consider giving this video a like, commenting, and of course subscribing to the channel. Your girl would appreciate it as we head towards 1,000 subscribers. Now let's go ahead and hop into this video. So hello, I hope you and your loved ones are doing well and staying safe no matter whenever or wherever you are watching this video. So today I'm going to be going over what my net worth was at the end of 2023 or the very start of 2024. I think the numbers that I have here are what I calculated literally on January 1st. So if you're not familiar with what your net worth is, that's essentially all of your assets that could be physical, like your house, the value of your home if you own it, the value of your car if you own it, and your financial assets, cash, checking accounts, investments, minus your liabilities, which are debts, credit cards, loans, other things like that. When you subtract the liabilities from the assets, you have your net worth. So I like to calculate my net worth twice a year, typically at the very beginning of the year and then somewhere in the middle, maybe June or July. So that way I have a really good picture of overall where I'm at in my finances. So before we actually look at where I was at the very end of 2023/very early 2024, I'm actually gonna head back to my net worth for the middle part of 2023. So this is where I was on my net worth at the middle of 2023. I had a net worth of about $78,510.76. I did have several outstanding bills at the time. I had a student loan that I needed to pay off. I had an urgent care bill, a walking boot. If you're new to the channel, I did break my foot last year, and I did have those outstanding bills to pay at the time. And then I also had a credit card debt. So those were my liabilities in the middle of the year, and my when I subtracted that from my assets at the time, left me with about $78,000 in my net worth. Now, the one thing that I do not put when I calculate my net worth is the equity of my house. I did buy a house, first time home buyer last year, and technically this house does have equity already built in this home. The value of this house has already increased quite a lot already, but just for simplicity's sake, I decided not to include that here because we don't plan on tapping into that equity anytime soon. And of course we still have to pay off the mortgage or pay towards the mortgage, so that is not included here. But again, in mid-July 2023, my net worth was around $78,510. Okay, so let's hop in to see where we were at the very end of 2023 or very early 2024. So in my checking account, I had a balance of $1,150.64. And in my coin jar, and I also did have a little bit of cash, I have $44.61 to give me a balance of $1,195.25. I do have money also in a joint account that I share with my partner, but that money is pretty much earmarked for bills, for mortgage. So I don't even treat that as a part of my net worth, even though technically half of the value of that account is mine, because that money is basically immediately spent. So I just pretend like it doesn't exist for the purposes of my net worth. I don't think I did that in July last year, but moving forward, I'm not gonna be including that money in any of these calculations. Now, in my savings account, it says savings account and sinking funds, but in reality, I don't have sinking funds anymore. It just really didn't work out for me. I just prefer to have everything all in one account. I ended the year with a total of $30,842.09 in my personal savings account. And my personal savings account includes my 3 to 6 month expenses, which is about $16,000. an emergency fund, and just my general savings. I do have a high yield savings account with Capital One, and it's paying quite high interest, and it did all year. And when I looked at the account, I think I got well over $1,000 in just interest alone from my high yield savings account. So super grateful for that. So yeah, that is what we're ending with our personal savings. Now moving on to the investments, I have several investments, and then my car is not really an investment. In fact, it's a depreciating asset, but it is worth around $7,000, so I did include it here. So starting off with Robinhood, which is where I kind of just do my general investing, buying ETFs, buying stocks, things like that. I ended the year with $2,978.89. The stock market was up quite a bit towards the end of the year, so I'm not sure where this value is at now, but I definitely ended at least $300 or $400 higher towards the end of the year than where I was in the middle. My Roth IRA ended at $1,955.77. I did totally max this out. I contributed the full $6,500 by the end of the year, so I was really grateful about that. My traditional IRA ended the year with $15,372.58. It started with about $13,000 in the account. I didn't contribute anything to it all year because you can only contribute to basically either or. You can, like the $6,500 that you could put towards the IRA, you can split between a traditional and a Roth. I decided to put it all in a Roth, but I still gained over, $2,000 just from the compounding interest. People like to say compounding interest is the 10th wonder of the world or something like that. So I'm really excited about that. And then my 401k ended at $17,887.74. I believe I started the year with around like $4,000 in that account. So again, I contribute to it. I get a 4% match on my total income from my employer. So very grateful for that and saw a really nice return in that account as well. I do have a pension from a previous job. I'm not exactly sure how much it is, but I think around $3,000 is in that account. I really need to figure out how much is in that pension and when I can actually withdraw from it. It's probably not until like I'm well in my 50s or 60s, but I do think I have around $3,000 in a pension from my previous job. And then last but not least, I have my iBond, which I did purchase in August 2022, and at the end of 2023 I had $10,880 in that account. I bought the full $10,000 iBond. I haven't purchased anything since, but that is one of my goals for this year, is think about maybe buying another iBond, or maybe T-bills is something else I'm looking into as well. And not gonna get into what iBonds and T-bills are because I'm just not an expert in any regarding these, and there's so much content on YouTube describing what T-bills and iBonds are, so I encourage you to look into that and do your research yourself. But when I add up all of my investments, that gives me a total of $73,074.98. Now coming over to our liabilities, which would be credit cards, loans, and outstanding bills. Remember, I am not including anything regarding to my home. It's just too complicated. And yeah, I just prefer this kind of more simplistic view. So at the end of 2023, I had a balance of $862.32 on my Chase card, $583.01 on my Capital One card, and $0 on my First Financial bank card. So how I like to do it in my budget is I like to pay for everything on my credit card. Literally everything that I buy during the month is paid on a credit card, with the exception of course, my mortgage. And then I think some of the utilities I cannot put on a credit card. But I promise you, if I could, I would put every single thing that I purchase on a monthly basis on a credit card, because I get the reward points, and I got quite a high amount of reward points this year. I think well over like $400 or $500. So I'm very grateful for that. And I did go ahead, of course, pay these off by the time you're watching this video. But at the time I calculated this, my amount that I owed on outstanding credit card bills was $1,445.33. And then very happy to report that this box is now blank. I did go ahead and pay off that one student loan. Just to explain what went on with that student loan. So I went to school on scholarships, so I really only had to take out one student loan. And then when I went into graduate school, that was deferred. And once I got finished with graduate school, I actually paid that loan off in March of 2020, right? I paid that loan off in March of 2020, and we all know what happened in March of 2020. Fast forward a couple years, the whole loan forgiveness kind of thing happened. And because I had paid off that loan during the forbearance period, my servicer actually reopened it because at the time it was eligible for forgiveness. And of course, fast forward again, we all know how the loan forgiveness paid out, and I did have to repay that student loan. And I just went ahead and paid it off in full at the end of 2023 before the interest started occurring again. And then of course, I paid off all the bills that were related to me breaking my foot and all that's done. So I ended the year essentially debt-free, pending the, of course, little bit of credit card debt that I had. Ended the year 2023 completely debt-free. So now when we put everything together, when I add up all of my assets, I have a total amount of $105,112.32. My liabilities added up to be $1,445.33. And we subtract the liabilities from our assets, give us a net worth of $103,666.99. So if I subtract what my net worth was in July of 2023, my net worth grew in the second half of the year by $25,156.23. So I am really happy of where I ended up at. In 2024, I was still able to increase my net worth even though I bought a house, we had to buy an HVAC, I went on a very expensive vacation. I feel extremely blessed when I look at these numbers that I've been able to, pretty much stay out of debt. And I am looking forward to watching this grow all throughout 2024. So that is gonna go ahead and end my video. If you did enjoy, please consider giving it a like, commenting, and subscribing. I would appreciate it oh so much. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.